what to write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just a scout?
That was Great Sounds of Watts with Outside on
know.
WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. EZ BlueZ, you're a better introductions more than me. Who do we have with us today on Behind the Brand?
You know, a long butt flipping time ago in a town called West Islip, I came into a venue to play with the amazing Suck It Easy. And there, behind the drums, sat this man that just from jump, our eyes met and we musically fell in love. And from that moment, going so far back that we can say we've been in the studio and recorded a track together over 11, maybe 12 years ago, depending on the day of the week. Absolutely fantastic. From behind the kit, he has now jumped onto the microphone. And when I tell you honestly, like all jokes aside, this man truly believes and feels what Mark Twain once wrote. Writing is easy. You just open up a vein and bleed all over the page. This man's honesty in his lyrics, this man's honesty in his delivery, and also how much fun he has when he is up there, whether he's rocking the fur coat or the shorts and the cons. I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. Please keep your hands at 10 and 2. We don't want any accidents. But mentally, you can put your hands together. The absolutely phenomenal, the absolutely amazing, one heck of a friend, and a dude who one day I called up and be like, hey, can you play djembe for me at Betstop? And he was like, sure. Blaque Alex Turner, my brother from another mother.
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
That was a very handsome introduction, I have to say.
Thank you. Well, you're a very handsome man. You need a fitting introduction for that, sir.
Yeah, that was 12 years ago, I think, right? When
it was. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was you, me, Mike, Sargon, Chris Rendazzo.
And Chris Rendazzo, yeah.
Yeah.
Me on guitar, which makes no
acoustic
sense
guitar. But that was that was so Tim Armstrong, like that your whole vibe on that track was just perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, I played drums on it. Mike rapped. Yep. Mike did his meatball voice.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
We're talking Aqua Teen Hunger Force meatball. That's the meatball we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lord.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was fire.
To see.
Yeah.
It was super fire. So funny.
Oh, it's somewhere on the interwebs. You could find it on the interwebs.
Yeah,
we're not going to tell you.
Honestly, you got to tell me where it is. I want to. I don't even know.
Oh, really?
I don't know where it's at.
Word. All right. Well, I know it's on YouTube, and I know it's on Sargon's band.
Oh yeah,
I know
YouTube.
That
Right. Yes. Of course, everything's on YouTube.
Yes. So, yes, excellent. But enough about that. Let's talk about now and the future. Well, obviously, we've had this conversation before. What made you step up from behind the drum kit to the microphone? But now you're also back behind the drum kit, or because you move so many moves on like you play 6 different chess games at the same time. So let's catch up the easy listener with exactly where you're at right now, because you're back behind the drum kit with the absolute phenomenal nonstop for Cairo. Am I right about that? Because I know you guys have like a love to hate relationship. I'm not sure.
Oh, man.
No, it's just well, it's not love hate. It's all love. But I when I started rapping a couple years back, I focused on that and stepped away from the band. I don't know, 4 years maybe went by, and then we had a tragedy bring us back together, and just slowly started hanging out as friends. Still, and then the conversation came up about me playing. Did it a few times, did it a couple more times, and then last year I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Let's just we may as well just do it because it's fun, and I had the itch, you know what I'm saying, to play again. And I know with that band, the way I play fits perfectly with that band. Like they're super funky. There's ska elements in there, hip hop elements, and it just fits, So I figured why not, and it's been fun. And we dropped an album in May,
Good for you.
Yeah, which has been doing great. It's called Kai, streaming everywhere, all over. And that's KAI. I got to remember to. I haven't done an interview in a while. I got to bring my promotion skills back.
We're happy to
all right.
bring you back in the light.
Yeah.
You know, and I am a promotional junkie, as we'll say, because I can't say the other word on air. So like, I have no problem sliding that in there. That's why I mentioned Nonstop for Cairo and Kai, that the new record that dropped in May, which is absolutely phenomenal. And you don't just have to be a ska band to like Nonstop for Cairo. Cairo. There's a bunch of different aspects to it that I think is phenomenal. And you are right, man, because you do sit in that funk groove type of feel. So what is it like now going, having to switch from like, MC front person hat to like sitting behind and being the pulse of the music? And how, and do you do this on a bill? Like, do you like, hey, since Nonstop for Cairo is playing, I'm gonna do a 15-minute set. And do you have to play that type of chess? Because it's tough.
Yeah. Well, it mentally there's a switch that has to happen. And sometimes I'll admit, sometimes in my mind I will throw a tantrum when I have to make that switch. Because if I've been like playing drums for a few sessions and I'm in drum mode, and then I have to rap, I'm kind of like, because I gotta reignite that fire. And we have flirted with the idea of me doing a set before a Nonstop show. It hasn't happened yet. Because like I said, like when I'm in that mindset, I kind of want to be in that mindset. Like if I'm gonna go play drums, I don't want to play so I can and just hang with the boys and focus on that without having to switch to frontman mode. But and vice versa. But one day maybe we'll do it and it'll be a challenge and it'll be fun. But being back with them has been amazing. We're actually carving a new sort of audio path for ourselves. I think the future is going to have a lot less horns. Because Nonstop to Cairo, that band can get up to like 8 members at full capacity, right? And that's hard to manage logistically. And we've just been having conversations about how over the years there's always kind of been a core band and then people who would join us and do their own thing after a while. So we figured, like, why not just make a record where it's just the 4 of us and it's more of a rock and roll, and we just readjust, say maybe instead of a horn section, we have more guitars or a drum section or something like that. And that's been awesome. And we got like 14 new joints that we're like slowly getting in the studio to make. And
nice.
Yeah, man, it's been incredible, man. Those dudes, I just love playing with them.
Well, let's see. One, as for someone who's been actually, I think in the studio with you twice, because I think we did a Suck It Easy record as well.
Oh yeah, right.
Which was even stranger
with Shelly, right? Shelly. Yeah.
Yes. See, so there you go. It's a super interesting experience because there is a lot of conversation that go, and both times where we were in there for like kind of improv. If we're being honest, you guys are going in obviously with structured songs and an idea, but there's this incredible conversation that happens, and it's awesome to be in there with your brothers that you love to play with and those different aspects. Are you still going to, like, because I know that there are some bands that'll be like, okay, we have the core group here, but we're going to be playing, say, Philadelphia, and it's difficult to make sure all 8 people can get to Philadelphia for that weekend, but to 4 you might be able to pull off. And then you just call up your homies in Philly and be like, yo, does anyone want to come up and like play horn, or if there's anything want to do that aspect? It also helps with your promotion in that city as well. Is that something you guys are looking for?
I mean, it's always possible to still build those networks, but it takes a long time to tour enough to where in multiple cities you have musicians that can like jump on a show and you just know they'll do a great job. Unfortunately Nonstop hasn't done that extensive amount of touring to have that kind of network set up, which I think is fine because like the 4 of us, I think we're talented enough and we gel well enough together, well, to where we don't necessarily need the extra sounds. Now obviously they're going to elevate Like,
Right.
if we do a big show on Long Island, like Great South Bay, we're probably going to call our horn people and be like, yo, let's go all come together, Avengers, you know what I mean? And do that thing. But it's nice to know that we don't necessarily have to do that.
Right.
Because then we can keep the record a one-to-one experience, like whatever you hear on the record is what we can do live and maybe even accentuate it, make it better. Kind of just like how Foo Fighters do or Red Hot Chili Peppers, where you go see them and it's like, oh, this is the song. I love that. So yeah, I mean, we haven't set that up, but I guess it's possible. Although I'll be honest, and I don't know if we have to put this part in the interview.
Up to you. Up to you. Up to you,
well,
man.
I'm really taking a step back from being on the road.
Okay.
Over the years, like I really realized I want to be a studio rat, and I want to try to set up some licensing stuff and
nice.
Get them royalties up. You know what I mean? So, and that again takes its own amount of energy.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of like switching from drums to rap. It's like switching from studio to stage. It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
And I could do it, but as
is
you
it
get older,
overwhelming?
It can
it be? All right.
Yeah, it can be. It can kind of feel like, man, I took on too much responsibility. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting older and I want more time to live a more balanced life. Every time I step up to create, it's like the best I can do. And I've kind of gone through the years of spreading myself thin, kind of over it,
For you personally, just balancing the stage and, just studio life, like you said, do you feel sometimes it can be a little more structured? Would that make you feel better? Would that make you continue to live the double life you live as a musician with that?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, if things are super organized and like, if they're smooth, or as smooth as it can be.
Right.
And obviously if there's a financial incentive, because, we're in an inflation economy right now.
Yes, we are.
Obviously that can motivate anybody. And I'm open to those opportunities. And I'm not like fully decided, like, oh, I'm done with live.
I get it.
I really still am.
I get it. Yeah.
I still am open. Yeah, I'm
it.
still open to like things that make sense. But I'm just thinking more about when I say yes. You know. Now, obviously, I have some relationships with people where I'll say yes right away. Like you guys hit me up, and it's like, hey, come do this interview. I'm like, oh yeah, yes. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And like for example, when we drop the record, I know that I can reach out to you and be like, hey, bring Nonstop up here because we're also going to bring Keep Flying up here, and I think you guys will gel really well. Yeah. And I know that that's going to be that type of thing. But those are the special moments in this industry, and not to jump on your answer, but I kind of wanted to round it out for the rest of the listeners and stuff. You can easily do a bunch of different things and be okay at all of them. But people like Alex and myself, we don't like to be okay with it. If we can't be the top aspect, if we can't push, I still remember the one time I played an acoustic show at Mr. Beery's, and Alex was there, and he looked at me in the eyes. He goes, "I'll be honest with you, man. It was all right. It was solid, but it wasn't you, and it wasn't your best. And I know how what your best is, and you just robbed all these people." And that you did. No, Steve Dead said that straight to my face, bro.
We're boys. Face. That's how you know we're boys. I just said something super real to you. I don't even remember.
But that's that type of key. So when you are moving to these different aspects, and if that is something that you really are looking at as for like publishing and different things like that, let's have a couple conversations because I might know some people. You know me. I know a little bit of everybody.
Sure.
So like for example, P, I'm sure you're already thinking about it too. I think him and HGO would align wise extremely well, and I would able to branch HGO out more towards Long Island and be able to bring Alex and stuff more towards here. I think it makes sense. They also have a little bit more of a pop feel to them, so you'd be able to add more texture. That would be an avenue that they would want to go down. So we know that he's listening to the show right now on the 18th of August. So Ace, call your boy is what I'm saying. right now. Just while we're on air, I just want
Word.
Alex's phone to ring, and if he answers, it'd
But
be great.
I like the idea how he said he wanted to be a mad scientist just in the lab creating. That's a wonderful experience. I mean, I'm not a musician, but just being in the background, being that fly on the wall, just seeing Easy in the studio, just seeing good friends of mine in the studio, just create and just have the most fun time of their lives, and most importantly, getting paid for it.
Oh yeah.
you can help other people. You just so many people you can branch off, and like it just is. You're like this tree, and you're just in the roots keep on going and never stopping when it comes to in the studio. So I get that point of view too. I mean, you want to create. I mean, you're never going to stop creating. You can do that until you're long and gone, and even when you go up to heaven, your work is going to be there for forever and for generations, and people will remember you. So I get that part too behind the side.
And from a business perspective, it creates an opportunity to have something to pass along.
Yeah, right.
Because that's the thing, you know, we do live shows. If we do live shows exclusively, and again, I love playing live. You know, I've done it my whole life, but you know, that's working for a living. Like in this industry, the only way that I know of to get that royalty situation for your family when you are gone is creating royalties, sync licensing. You know, and if you get famous enough, obviously you can have a song that gets played at baseball games, you know. But that's how you do it. It's all about the catalog when it comes to that type of thing. And I realized that a while ago, and I started to just kind of focus on that more. Yeah. And it does happen to be the part of music I enjoy more or the most, the part of being in the music business that I enjoy the most, you know, creating in the studio. I'm actually doing this interview from West Industry Studios in Deer Park.
That's why the mic is so professional.
Yeah. I think last time I was in the crib in the basement.
You made it work though. You made it work. You made it work. You said it was right. You made it work. So.
Well, we do what we got to do. You know?
Absolutely, we got to adjust. Yeah, as creators, yes, I do.
Yeah, we've come up and so over here, I've been actually immersed in that studio experience. My boy Jesse Viola owns the place. My boy Rob, Peter Zach, Rayon. Right. We have a collective called the War and Fear. You know, shout out to Tony, John, Kurt, everyone who's like involved in making that work. and we're just, man, we got so much music. Like the past year, 2 years, we've just been making so much music. And I kind of wish I could give you a tour of the place because it's just, it's so, like as a creative person, it's just so much to sink your teeth into. And, you know, Jesse has this vision of this War and Fear collective. And there's an abstraction to it that's kind of hard to communicate, but ultimately, like, we're looking to be like the Funk Brothers, you know, like, you know, just like craft our songwriting ability so well that we can do it for other people. Right. You know, right. But in the meantime, we're dropping our own music and flexing that muscle or getting strengthening that muscle. And it's been incredible, man. And it really opened my eyes to like what I want to do. Like I actually want to be a studio dude, you know, like when I'm in that zone and those ideas are coming and we're jamming and those hooks come and I'm getting to sing and I'm getting to rap and I'm jumping on the drums too. It's just like, and then I'm watching Rob jump on the keys and be the engineer and Jesse doing guitar. And it's like, you know, like this is, man, if my future could be like this, that's lit. Right. Mix that in with some live stuff. I think I'd be a pretty happy dude until the end of time, you know?
I agree.
See, yeah, no, I have, it's so interesting because you and I always have interesting parallels. But I'm on the other side of that. Like to me, I'll do radio. I understand you have to have it out there so that, you know, you can get your radio play so that you can book your shows that are necessary. The live stage is life for me. So much so that like my next evolution is I'm going to own a venue. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? You know, so to help thrive that scene and raise that next aspect of it. But and what is truly key in this industry, and this is what we try to talk about on the show all the time. Success in this industry is not a house in MTV Cribs. It is where you're able to do you love to do and you can pay all your bills. Okay. You might not have a Rolex, but bro, you can tell time. It's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you know, that is success in this industry. He's writing that one down. I might not have a Rolex, but you can tell time. You feel free to use it. It's fine.
If you tune into the next album and you hear that one, just, you know.
No, I'm just, dude, I'm a
me.
pop. I'm gonna pop like Daniel Bryan is screaming yes, bro. If I hear that on a record.
I guess. Yeah, but bro, that makes sense. I think that makes so much sense for you to own a venue because you're a connector, like Malcolm Gladwell, right? He talks about that in some of his books. Mm-hmm. You're a connector. Mm-hmm. You're the kind of person that like can segue or connect two people together,
right? That
need to link up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you would go great with this, and boom, you know. And yeah, that's perfect, and that's actually really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's gonna be called Easy Barnums.
Easy Barnums.
Yep.
Don't give too much away, Easy. Please don't.
don't say nothing that's not copyrighted.
Yeah. Wait till everything is set in stone. Someone's gonna take that name.
We've said it on air.
Yeah.
This is our intellectual property.
I
we
understand
own
that.
what comes out on here on air. Yeah, I have said it, so technically by copyright law, it's copywritten just by me saying it here now.
We got to get the backup. We got to get the paper straight. We got to get the I's dotted. We got to get the T's crossed. We can say stuff with confidence, but we can't say stuff with confidence if you know what I mean. You should know.
Say stuff with confidence. You can say confidential stuff, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
I'm just saying.
Write that one down.
Just saying.
That bar is going to get you a Rolex, homie.
Knew about this business way before me. You know your P's and your Q's. So that's all I got to say. And I know my letters too. WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. Blaque Alec is with us again on Behind the Brand. Easy BlueZ, continue.
Well, that's one of the most incredible things. And honestly, this is why no matter what, the people around you are super important. Because Alex knows I'm that far thinker. I am that you put me in a room and I will tell you how to own that room, and I will do none of the work. This is what you should do.
He's a visionary. He's just a visionary.
Yeah, I get lost in the visions. It's all the peyote.
Put me on, baby.
But then this amazingness where you get to meet people who are as Prestige, who fill in that aspect. You're like, okay, that totally makes sense, but like you also need to eat today. So have you eaten today? And is everything going to be okay for tomorrow? It's so super important to stay as grounded as possible, because if you just have a vision, you could go blind.
Yeah.
Feel free to write that one down too.
Nice. You're lacing it tonight.
I got you.
What are some artists from Long Island that people need to know about besides yourself?
Besides me, there's no one. No, okay.
I like that too. I love that too.
No, the first one that comes to mind is Nick Moody. Nick Moody's been doing a really good job. He's an MC, and he's been doing it for a while, and just, he's starting to get his flowers now, and that's great to see. Good hip hop act. Obviously, Nonstop to Cairo. My friends in Aqua Cherry, reggae band, very good.
Nice.
Very solid. I got friends in the Big Happy, very awesome group. War and Fear, like I mentioned before. It's funny you say like besides you, but I just named like 2 acts that are connected to me.
Yeah.
The self-promotion is starting to come back to me.
Good. See, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but there's a lot. I got friends, Bunktown Falls, they just dropped some music. My friend Keys, he's an MC. Aranaya, Cokes Marie.
Wow.
Yeah, those last 2 are my family, actually. 2 of my biggest mentors and best friends. Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot, just I don't know, type Alan on Spotify or whatever. whenever I'm on the spot, I can't think of nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like when somebody asks you, like, "Yo, put on some ill record," and I'm like, you know, I just go blank.
And this is kind of where you have that cheat code, because I know some people's, you know, like for example, you could be listening on Mondays to the Shark on Long Island, and you have Rick Everly up there, and Rick Everly's project, I believe
Shout
it's
out to
now
Rick.
back to being called, you know, back to being called Big Rick Energy. That's a phenomenal act to have out there, and also the amount of work that Rick Everly does as per helping with PR and helping with distribution and stuff like that. Definitely somebody you want to look for, someone you want to grow with. Very, very good friend of both Alex and myself, and also another member of the Suck It Easy clan. You know, and that's the other thing, is there's so many residual that you'll still find out there that have some sort of heartbeat or connection to that early Moonshaba feel. You know, still, I know John Jeremy still moves around a lot and all those different things, but that's, I mean, by far one of the acts where you and John Jeremy are in the top conversation. It's really funny too, because if I remember correctly, that recording session, when we were trying to get into the studio, John Jeremy, while we were waiting for Randazzo, John Jeremy came out, and me, you, and John Jeremy had a huge conversation. Before we were even me, you, and John Jeremy, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like,
no. I'm glad to have you here. I'm actually, it's helping my mind remember things. John, shout out to John Jeremy. Also, in terms of Long Island artists, Gamblers. You guys got to check out Gamblers. Gamblers is my favorite Long Island act right now. Mike McManus, he's the visionary behind that band, and everyone in the band's really cool. We just did a set, was like a month ago in Patchogue, and that was fantastic. They have a song that is just killing it right now, this remix called Another Dose. Check that out on Spotify for your gym playlist. So Gamblers, also N Rose, Gabby Rose in the squad, killing it. Oogie Wawa, of course, you know. MJT,
phenomenal MJT. Also Playing Dead.
Wow.
There's, I don't know if Jelly Band has any recordings, but if you're ever on Long Island and you want to see a show, go see Jelly Band if they're playing, because the first time I saw them, they played 15 Steps by Radiohead and they nailed it. And I was just like, I worship the ground you walk on. Oh my God, like to be out dancing at a bar and someone's playing 15 Steps. I'm just like, thank you. That's another, so there's a lot more. That's crazy that you remember all these details. John Jeremy, that's nuts. I haven't seen John in a long time.
Well, that's the thing, is being the way that I've been my entire life. And, you know, if you met me at like 2, you met me today, I'm the same person. So like, you know, in school and different things like that, I didn't really have that many friends because I'm a lot. So my friends became my radio and my CD collection. And now, by being in this industry and working the way that I worked, now actually on my playlists, there are my friends that, you know, make incredible art, but I also have that personal connection. You know, like I still remember laying on my couch when you were about to drop that first EP and you sent it to me. And my exact words to you were, thank you for being so brutally honest and open. Like, you know, this is who you are, and I'm so happy to get to know this person. You know what I mean? That's success to me. Because I remember being that 12-year-old kid sitting there saying, I want to be friends with rock stars. And yeah, maybe we're all not selling out Madison Square Garden, but flip it, man, we're all rock stars.
I mean, definitely some rock stars. Like, you know, as you're in the as you're in the music business, you kind of start to realize that the whole rock star thing is less and this is just an opinion incoming, right? Like I have a habit of stating my opinions as facts. So let me just let everyone know that this is my opinion. But the rock star thing is more about the lifestyle of being an artist than it is about your status. You know, like I can go into the industry and enter the machine and they can do their best to make me a star. But when you meet me one-on-one, you're just going to tell that that's what the situation is. You know, but if you do it the way Easy and I do it, and other artists that I love and friends with, you just become this person. Like even if you still have to work a day job, you just walk into the day job as a rock star. You know what I mean? Like, even if your life is not going the way you want it or your career, it's like you're literally just a rock star. You're a rock star when you choose what you're going to wear that day. You're a rock star when you choose how you think, you know, how you choose to communicate, the risks you take in your creativity. These are rock star moves. Partying all night is cool. Being popular is cool. We love that. We love that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But, you know, the deeper you go into this, and I kind of want to use this opportunity to kind of communicate where I'm at in my own work, in the Blaque Alex work.
Word.
Because there's a lot of, like, I've stripped away a lot of the pretension that comes with pursuing fame. At least I've worked to strip it away. And I found that my uncle always has this saying that success starts with subtraction. And I've been like moving towards minimalism more in my life, right?
Right.
And that includes the way I think, right? It includes the things I own, and includes like how I use my time, but it also includes my philosophy and what I embrace. And I'm moving towards like a really free flowing acceptance in my creative life, and just trying to kind of honor the reality of my life as opposed to always trying to envision a bigger future. Because anytime I've chosen to follow my gut, anytime I've chosen to accept what I am and present that vulnerability, it's always worked out for me. Whenever I start to think that I can outsmart the game or strategize my way into success, I tend to get frustrated. I tend to get stuck. I tend to get poor results. And as I look around, I kind of notice that a lot of artists can relate to that. You know, the more conversations I have with them, and you know, because we're all going through similar stuff. So my solution, like Virgil Abloh says, like a designer is supposed to solve a problem. So I see that there is a problem with how we pursue success in the music business. And, you know, we're trying to pursue this fame thing that clogs our minds and with expectations and pressure. But I don't think that's fair, because we're already lit. You know, like we're already rock stars, right? Like, so it's not fair to us to constantly cave into certain pressures to present ourselves in certain ways. Because, you know, like I said before, we're in an inflation economy. You know, as rising artists, we have to deal with our life expenses and the expenses in the business. And I'm looking to kind of like set the example for freeing yourself from certain pressures, you know. As an example of what I'm talking about, dude, I fantasize about just shooting everything on an iPhone. Like, I'm just like, yo, it's awesome to hire a videographer and it's all, but like, if you don't have the money for it, like, that doesn't mean you can't drop. That doesn't mean you can't reach out and connect to people, you know, because when I first started rapping, I was just rapping into the iPhone and showing it to people. And they were just like, oh, I like this guy, or I don't like this guy, or whatever, right? And it started to grow. Had I overthought it and been like, I got to hire this person, to hire that person, and do this, because, you know, that's what they would teach you at a music seminar. You know what I'm saying? That's what they would teach you. Like, most artists walk away from those seminars more full of fear than full of hope. Right. So like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, I'm paying monthly for this iPhone, and this is the iPhone. It's not even like some crap trash. It's the iPhone. I'm like, why am I not just using this more? You know what I'm saying?
Fast forward to 2023. So much you can do with the iPhone now.
So much you can do.
Apps, so many filters,
so many, right?
And it's like free updates you get. It's crazy.
Right,
it's crazy.
Right. They're always changing it, and you're already paying for it. So like, I'm not against, obviously I'm not trying to suggest that anyone not make like a professional music video or anything like that. But if you don't have access to that, take the tool you have already and just literally hone your creativity with that. I promise you, somebody's out there ready to just rock with you. Enough people to like make that progress.
And that's been going on forever, because and that's usually where your true art is made. Look, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I mean, we look alike. That dude is definitely my brother on so many different levels. But his best art was made for $10,000. Let's be real. You know, when you have that limited aspect, that, you know, that's why they say a really good song can play in any different style. You can have all these pops and whistles, but if you strip it down, it's going to stand with just the acoustic guitar and the words.
Absolutely.
You know, or in some cases, just the words.
Easy. And
Yes.
Alex, this is a question for both of you. Take DeLorean back about like 20, 25 years, even like 30 years ago. Before Fruity Loops, before all these musical programs. Some stuff I've been like listening to different interviews that from producers, because I know you guys produce yourself and you help other people out, especially when it comes to studio work, that there was very limited when it came to production sounds and beats when these first programs were coming out. How was that, like easy, hard, mediocre, just working with just limited stuff back in the day when this technology was first breaking out in the early thousands, late 90s when it came to programs? Because now it's unlimited what you can do all these musical programs now. It's crazy.
I mean, I got to be honest, like it's kind of always been around for me. Like it's evolved.
Right.
Obviously, like it's easier to get a really great drum sound from samples, for example. But it's always been around. I mean, but it's, I guess, at any point before technology takes over, it's the human spirit and it's the human creativity, right? So like even in the 80s, sampling first got hot. They figured out how to get that snare to give the proper tone for the record they wanted to make so that it connected with the ear the way they wanted it to. I think in any, no matter what medium you work in, if you're an engineer or a songwriter or a painter or a videographer, there's going to be tools available, but those tools are only going to do what you're capable of making them do. And thinking outside the box is absolutely necessary if you feel limited, quote unquote, with what you have available. Because there's a universe where anything works. Like if we were all in this room and decided to just bang on the walls and maybe use this microphone, we could make ourselves a record. If we really wanted to. And there's no instruments in here. There's no keyboards. There's no guitars. It's just the room. I mean, look at Stomp. Stomp is literally just like playing drums in the environment. It's a worldwide phenomenal show. It just closed, but rest in peace to the Stomp crew. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about it's all about your creativity.
Or Blue Man Group.
Or Blue Man Group, exactly. You know.
I mean, dude, their Grammy performance with Jill Scott and Moby is still one of the best performances
I've never seen that. What?
Dude, you going on YouTube, bro. Going on YouTube. You go check it out. Oh my gosh, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I tell you, it's up there with like Prince performances. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it's almost up there with like Prince playing "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" for George Harrison's freaking memorial. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how good it really was. But this is one of the most incredible aspects of it is you have to have, you know, all of those type of things. And for me, I love every aspect of the recording process. And yeah, I love that there are machines that can make things go a certain type of way, but I love it so much more when I can do it with my voice. When I can do it live, when I can get that crackle in there just perfect, and then take that moment of pain every single time that we're there, for me, that's more fun. So like I used to love recording in my room using my earbud headphones as a microphone and getting that really graspy, you know, torn up sound. That was just something else to play with. I always had that Violent Femmes mentality of this is how good I am musically right now. And I'm going to just be as in that moment, and I'm going to work towards making the smallest, weakest part sound the best.
Right. Yeah. You got to stay present with what you're working with when you're making art. The minute you get into thinking, oh, I need a better this, sure. If you get a better product or a better tool, but it's more beneficial long-term to just craft your troubleshooting skills and craft your ability to take a sound and to the best of your ability, get it to where you want. That's going to pay bigger dividends because once you get the nicer equipment, you have that skill, and then you could take that nicer equipment to an even higher level. You know, Because you can't give someone who doesn't know what they're doing nice equipment and get something awesome.
No.
You know what I
You
mean?
don't want to do that. And
Like, you pay your
also,
dues.
you don't want to give them the brand new equipment when they're just starting to get to know some things either. Because like I might slash and break phase. The reason why we have distortion is because someone kicked the tube of an amp. You know what I'm saying? And those are great people later on, but that's still an amp that had to be repaid for. You know what I mean?
Right, but that's all the process. They're in
Right.
process.
Right.
You know, like that's what happens when you're in process. That's kind of why I'm saying, like, yo, whatever you have available to you, just go for it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because it puts you in process. And once you're in process, you make discoveries. That's how we know everything we know in the sciences, all the STEM. It's just like a process of discovering what's possible. That's all it is. And as artists, we got to be on the same way. You don't necessarily need to listen to any advice that's going to make you feel like, unless you can debut as a famous person, you can't do this. Like, unless you can have the crazy video and all the likes and the best whatever and the best recording, like, you don't need all that to get started, bro. You need your heart and a connection with a person. That's what you need to get started. And your iPhone's good enough. Your Android's good enough. Although, you know, I don't rock with Androids.
Me.
I'm an iPhone guy, but you know, it's good enough. Say what?
One of us. You know,
it's just so much easier to use that to me.
Word.
But that's all you need to get started, man. You know, that's all you need. Like strip away all the things that block you from taking action. Just, you'll discover who you are along the way, I promise you. And people will love it. People will, maybe not everyone. It's still gonna be hard. I mean, no matter what avenue you take in a business, you're gonna struggle because, you know, the struggles are meant to teach you what you need to know. But it's all you need to connect. And that's where I just want to be connecting. I don't want to overthink things anymore. I just want to connect.
What places do you want to connect? Are we talking West Coast? Are we talking Midwest? Are we talking down South? What places have you not been? Do you want to share your art to?
Yes.
All the
That's
above.
why we friends.
That's
my answer too.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, you know, right now, it's not serving me to think about specifics in that way. Okay. You know, I don't know where Blaque Alex fans are, bro. I've been surprised this whole time, like, as to who becomes an enemy or who reaches out with like a really heartfelt, yo, I checked your stuff out and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm so surprised. So it's like, and this is what I mean. Like, this is the type of thing that if we had a marketing meeting, we'd be trying to figure out.
Right.
And as marketers, that would be our job. Right. But I'm an artist who has to market. So like, I'm connected to the emotion of what it is that I'm doing as opposed to just the logistics. So I want to just put it out there and see what, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, like, from the most thugged out
father. No, you can't.
Mother, father. Okay.
Yeah, there's some strict guidelines we have to do on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City Made. Blaque Alex is with us, and I hope we didn't lose your train of thought. Go right ahead, sir.
No, that was amazing. But I'm saying, from the most hard gangster rap fan to the most like alienated kind of young kid who's just kind of like, I don't know, confused and trying to figure things out. Have reached out and been like, yo, I love what you're doing. And I'm just like, man, I could have never predicted that if I pulled out my whiteboard and like, oh, we're going to run the ad to this country. Like, when I run an ad, I just tell Instagram, yo, just show it to people who are like my followers. And we'll see what happens. You know, it's not the most cost effective.
No, it's not. But that's the other thing, is it's kind of true, because like you get to that point where you really only want the people around you. And one of the things that I've started to do is, like, I watch those stupid Spotify artists daily. I watch the Apple artists daily, but I started celebrating the small things. Like, yo, we got Shazam 4 times last week. I posted that up and like, yo, the people who Shazam this song, thank you so much. We love you. You know, oh, we got played in Austria. Yo, I didn't even know Germans love the Penguin. We appreciate you. Like, whoever listens, that one person, you were special to us. And it, because it's real, because They don't have to take 3 minutes of their time. They don't have to take 4 minutes of their time. They don't have to give you anything. And they chose to take 4 minutes out of their day and spend some time with you and listen to your thoughts and feel. That's the stuff that we need to celebrate. You can market all you want, but that's a true connection. And that is what is important.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, absolutely. Look, man, you know when you're in the music business artist, the easiest way to tell when you're off the path of connecting is when you don't have gratitude for the engagement that you get. As soon as 10 likes is not enough for you, you got to reassess your mindset. Because it really is true. Like, people take the time out to check out what you took the time to make. And it's like, the only way to scale that or multiply that is to show that gratitude. And if we're talking like law of attraction type stuff, I mean, that's the way you get more of it to come to you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be happy. And I learned this lesson the hard way, because I used to complain about fakes, right? When I was a youngin' trying to be famous, I'm like, I used to complain about but it's like, bro, that's like literally, it's like, that's proof of concept right there. Like, I made something that as someone liked. As soon as one person likes it, it matters. Man, I could go into this. We could talk about this all day. Because my whole new album, my whole album aesthetic is centered around this mentality of like.
Well, I feel like the three of us are going to do like an uncensored podcast just talking about this topic.
I would love
because
that.
there is a lot that you can get through there, and that's the other key. You're connected with social media as much as we are, and how it now has become kind of the face of our industry. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. If YouTube existed in the 90s, more people would care about Mother Love Bone than they did Nirvana. That's just the reality. Yeah, I'm saying it, bro. I'm saying it.
That was fire. Wow.
Thank you.
That's probably true, man. For real. Because, it's like, we never used to be able to think for ourselves. Right? Like, we were told who was hot. Not entirely, right? Because the people do, if people are requesting a song on the radio, obviously they love it.
Right.
But there's a lot of artists that weren't given that chance because the labels were trying to dictate to us who was worth listening to.
Right.
And I love to see that go away. Like, to a certain degree. Obviously the radio is still what it is.
Right.
But to see the artists get chances more often because of the free flowing of information, is fantastic.
Well, I have 1 point to play on that, and then I'm gonna just do the dead finish on this is, you got to treat it like they treat it in the WWE. If you're only given a minute on television, you make that best minute of your life. You make sure that is retweetable. You make sure that is repostable. You make sure that becomes a meme, because that is the most important minute of your life. Unfortunately, we have but 2 minutes left on this show. Blaque Alex, these are the most important 2 minutes of your life to tell all of these people how they can get in touch with you, how they can vibe with you, and how they can watch The Ascension.
Well, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Spotify. I love what I do. I think that if you are pure of heart and want to create something, you should. I don't think anything should stop you. I don't think any rule that people put in front of you is absolute. I think we should get back to thinking for ourselves. I know there are people that are on their way to that already. And rather than promote my page, I'm Blaque Alex, BlaqueAlex. If you want to find me, you can find me. But I want to leave you with just some spirit, just go for it. Make all the mistakes. Be as eager to fail as possible, because that's how you're going to get to your breakthroughs. And those breakthroughs are beyond your wildest dreams. That doesn't mean you're going to be super popular. I can't promise you that. But the internal feeling you have as a creative person, there are ways you can feel as a creative person that you can't even fathom if you trust yourself. And they always lead to results. They always lead to opportunities. And then you just hone it from there.
Right.
And call your mom, because she's not. These are the things
Right
that
there.
matter. If I have 2 minutes to talk, that's what's on my mind these days.
Word.
You know.
Before we go, tell us about the track that you gave us today for Behind the Brand.
Yeah, so these tracks are gonna be these tracks are on the new record, Trash, which I mean, I wish we had more time to kind of dig into the concept of Trash, but yeah, I don't know what to say about them other than it's just where my creativity is at now. Hopefully you connect with it. If you don't, that's okay. But if you do, definitely keep up with where I'm going because I feel an exciting period right now. So
well, we promise our audience that trash is not trash, and it's for you to interpret. But Blaque Alex,
One man's trash.
An intelligent conversation. We do appreciate this on Behind the Brand. We appreciate you.
Next time you guys want to talk, just hit me up. I'm down.
We got you on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, EZ BlueZ.
It's the return of the handsome creature. Pop a bottle for the new king, former sleeper, heart of a griever. How do you respond to the cynicism, bonds and bombs? Look at your life and take the goals a little deeper. Okay, charge $100 K for the feature. Monetize Mona Lisa. Delusions of grandeur, visions of answers. Bruce with the band of this Alexander, Heffa commanded. And the glands are expanded, hopeless romantic. Look off the frantic for the enhancement of stoicism. Sick with the antics, now they demand it. Run the Atlantic just like I planned it. Solid gold religion. Bet your bottom dollar bitch in the presence of the glitch. Hazelnut skin breaker out of me off the matrix. In that we already made it. It's just decided back when I was just a seed. Started as a dream or a feeling. Deep inside my genes, then I made it a real thing. The DNA supreme and I'm far from my ceiling. Sexy appealing. I'm gassed up, stacked up, sick with the mashup. Oh. This shit is mystic, narcissistic, spiritualistic, and egotistic. Black and gifted, and I know you can't miss it. Conviction way too explicit in the laboratory with crickets. Bring the pain, my brain think it's a gong. It's the first Blaque Alex Marcus Aurelius song. I'm really the strong, until you notice rarely I'm gone. I barely be wrong, nigga, and intuition is on. Now listen, straight pacing and demonstrating. Avoid whatever's in the chasing. I'm based, reappraised with the finest lacings. Done with contemplating and debating. Redefine my own race. Back inside the mind space of my birthplace. Back when I should have tried to fly space in the first place. Went back to realign fate and lighten the weight.